becomes the reference beam, and where the two beams split, it takes an image of what it is there. And so in the hologram, every individual little piece of the hologram carries the information of the whole.
So that means God lives inside of me.
Yes, and so our brain, our chakras are what creates the beam being sent out, and in our brain is actually the splitter. And so we're creating this illumination and creating with that, just beyond the reach of our arms, there's this screen that we illuminate, and our whole world
is projected from that.
Is projected from that. So it's projected from the inside. There's no nothing
out there.
It's
there's no out there. There's only in here.
It's only in here. Yes.
So okay, I get that, and I know you get that. Okay, but I don't know if you're there yet. So let's catch you up. How could you take somebody in a three-dimensional consciousness that thinks that you're there and I'm here and they're there watching us, and allow them to be the experiment of their own life and test that theory to see if that really is true for them?
Okay, so basically for that to work well, you have to be clear.
Oh!
You have to be clear, which means you have to be done with all the hurts and all this. You need to live in the now.
Oh, so you cannot drag your past with you or your fear of the future.
That's right. So another element that has come in with this particular time period in our development of consciousness is that instead of the past creating who we are now in the present, which used to be the model, it's the future where we want to go that creates the present.
So it's back phrasing.
Yes. And so you need to project. One technique that we were taught is that how to work with your future self.
I have goosebumps all over my body. But we're going to work with our future selves.
Yes. And so what you need to do is, the past is determined because it has been witnessed.
Oh.
And so for the most part, the past is the past. But you see, every time you have a decision to make, there's a choice. And you can say yes or no. Whatever your choice is, that's where your consciousness goes.
Right.
But at the same time,
there's a splitter.
The other choice, there's a split.
And isn't that on multiple planes? That's like the probable, I mean, that could be...
That's through all the planes. But what it creates parallels of you. And so every choice that you've had
has got to parallel me on that time frame going in those directions at 360 degrees.
Yes. And so your future, when you go to a psychic and they look at your future, how to determine what, because you have like gazillion of future possibilities that emanate from you.
A good thing to understand what he's saying, if you don't have a visual in your third eye on this, is if you watch What the Bleep, there's a basketball scene where he's collapsing on one reality. He's had a basketball, but he's like, there's multiple positions. And because I'm collapsing on this reality, I'm choosing to experience this one thing right now.
Correct.
But all those other basketballs are still bouncing in multiple dimensions simultaneously as you.
Correct. And so a psychic determines your future because there's all these tracks, but one will be a little more illuminated. And that's the one that you're in this moment, as you're being read, that's the one that you most likely choose.
Right.
But the idea is to now do this consciously.
Exactly.
To actually build the future that you want in your imagination and to illuminate that the most.
And then run that.
So that you can flip tracks to be on that track.
Okay, I have to tell you, I'm so excited that this is here right now and you're articulating in a way that the people that are watching can practice this in their life. In 1994, I was jogging on the treadmill and my third eye opened and I saw a model of an outdoor fitness boot camp. Okay, and I took that vision of the future and then I saw all these little dominoes back phrase it to my present, and I kept my eye on that no matter what was happening. And people said, oh, that'll never work. No one's going to go outside and pay you to exercise in a park for free. Why would they do that? And it happened. And now there's a boot camp in every city across America right now because of the work I did, layering that, and then national articles and reality television. But I was doing it the way you're saying. I kept my eye on the future me. I saw myself running the programs, and then it informed the present me, and then it gave me, like, literally action steps, one after another after another. The information was coming to me in the present moment.
Yeah, and of course you were a little fortunate because you actually had this third eye opening, and the average Joe Blow, I'm sorry, for the most part, doesn't have that.
Except until now, boom! Until now, boom!
So the way I work with people is they need to imagine themselves maybe 2-3 years in the future, what is it? And so they build this in their imagination. But once it is built, they actually go and meet with that future self and get a download.
So you actually met your future self?
Yes, I worked with my future self.
So were you, I mean, you were sitting here like I am, talking to your future self.
Well, it happens in my imagination. It wasn't a physical flesh and bones.
But in your imagination, do you have, like, are you wearing clothes? Are you in a white glowing robe? Are you floating? I mean...
In my imagination, I'm pretty much the way I am here, except I can do anything that I want to do. I can breathe underwater. I can
breathe underwater. I'm ordering mermaid tails today.
Right. I can do somersaults. I can do whatever I want. I can go to other places. I go on the planet system, star system, Sirius a lot.
Sirius? Tell us about Sirius.
Well, Sirius is kind of the closest to the vortex that is between our universe and other universes.
So is that a Stargate?
So it's very close. So it's the first, when people come into this universe, people is kind of the wrong term here. When
beings.
Consciousness come into this, the first place of rest, the first stop is Sirius.
So when I'm leaving the universe, is that my first stop on the way out?
Yes, you go to Sirius, then out you go, and you come in, you come to Sirius.
Seriously?
Yes, and you know, there's these cultures in Africa that celebrate Sirius.
On the cave paintings, they have them on the walls, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Doggone.
There's Sirius A and Sirius B.
Doggone tribes.
And they rotate around each other every 55 years. And so these people here in these, quote, what we consider to be primitive tribes celebrate this 55-year cycle.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so I have to stop the clip because I think we are, oh my gosh, we're already at 17 minutes. We're at 17 minutes. I'm going to stop and then start another clip. So please stay tuned. This is just part one with Daniel the healer. And I mean, just the end of this clip, the overall message is heal thyself so that you can be clear, so that you can actually project your present reality from your higher self.
Correct.
And live the life of your dreams. This is Athena StarSeed.
And be in bliss 24/7. That's the idea. To be here in this physical, to have access to 5D, and to be in joy and bliss and happiness right here in the moment. And that the life, that the way you see it, that it unfolds that way, that you're becoming reality creators, magicians. Reality creator magicians.
Okay, this is Athena StarSeed and Daniel the Healer. This is a series called Raising Reverence about shifting your frequencies. And catch us on clip 2. Stay tuned.